Good morning, children. Welcome to online physical science classes. So, welcome to 7th standard physical science class. Today, we will continue our uh, 5th lesson in physics, heat. Okay, so far we have seen how to measure the temperature with the help of thermometer. Now, we are going to see the effects of heat. Effects of heat may occur as combustion or burning. Change may occur as combustion or burning. Change of state, expansion or contraction. So the change of effects of heat are change of state, combustion or burning, and expansion or contraction. So combustion is a chemical process in which a substance combines rapidly with oxygen, releasing a lot of energy in the form of heat and light. Flammable materials, example fuels, paper, cotton and synthetics catches fire easily. Sand, asbestos and ceramic tiles are non-flammable and are used for thermal insulation. So what is a combustion? It's a chemical process in which the substance rapidly combines with oxygen, releasing a lot of energy in the form of heat and light. Is it clear? Yes. Then change of state. What is change of state? Every pure substance has its own melting and boiling point. So we know that the change of state occurs as in different ways: solid to solid, liquid to liquid, solid to liquid, liquid to solid, liquid to gas, gases to solid, etc. So in all these things, every pure substance has its own melting and boiling point. The melting point is the same as the freezing point. So melting point and freezing point are one and the same. Boiling point means the temperature at which the liquid begins to boil is called its boiling point, and also melting point is the one at which the substance begins to freeze. Okay, that is called as melting point or freezing point. Okay, then evaporation. Evaporation is the process. Evaporation, you know that evaporation is a process in which the liquid converted into gases. The liquids are converted into gases. Evaporation occurs at all temperature from the surface of a liquid. Okay, from the surface of a liquid. And what about boiling? There is a difference between evaporation and boiling. Boiling takes place at a particular temperature when molecules from the entire body of the liquid changes to be vapor state. So evaporation occurs at all temperatures from the surface of a liquid, but boiling will take place at a particular temperature only when the molecules from the entire body of the liquid changes into vapor state. Okay children, all substances, so this is about the change in state. Do you understand? So at room temperature the molecules are quite common, and when it is heated they get vibrated. They excited and get vibrated. Okay, there is a main difference between evaporation and boiling. Evaporation occurs at all temperature, whereas boiling at a particular temperature. Okay, then we will go to the third effect of heat. The third effect of heat is expansion or contraction. All substances expand with increase in temperature. All substances will expand in increase in temperature, and this is called thermal expansion. That is called thermal expansion. Look at this figure. The ball, at first it is able to go through the ring, whereas the ball is an iron ball. It is able to go through the ring, but after heating the ball will not go through the ring. It is because that this iron ball get expanded after heating. Okay children, that is called thermal expansion. Thermal means because of heat this expansion takes place. The expansion or contraction of a body depend on its initial size, the change in temperature and the material. So this expansion, the same way the contraction can also leave the ball as such for some times. The temperature of the ball will come down and it cools down. That then it can go through the ring again. So that is, it get contracted, isn't it? So this expansion depends upon the size, change in temperature and the material of the substance. Okay, this is about solid. Similarly, the expansion or contraction can also happen in liquids. That is why small gaps are left between the railway tracks. Small gaps are you able to see the gap? The small gaps are left between the railway tracks in order to overcome this expansion process. Okay, children. And also the wires, they sag at the summer days, and winter days they become contract. Okay, so this is all because of thermal expansion in solids. Okay, now we will discuss the liquids. Liquids also undergo expansion and contraction, and also it depends on its initial volume, change in temperature and nature of the liquid. Okay, children, so this is about expansion and contraction of substance. So substance normally undergo expansion on heating and contraction on being cooling. Okay, hope you have understood this concept well, children. How does the heat get transferred? The heat get transferred through three processes. One is conduction, convection, and radiation. Okay, children. Conduction is the process of heat transfer between sections of materials that are themselves stationary and in contact with each other. Metals are good conductors, glass and wood are bad conductors or insulators. So look at this diagram, this figure. A metal scale is placed and matchsticks are fixed to it with the help of wax. Heat the scale at the one end. Slowly the heat transfers from the heated end to the other end so that the wax get melted and the matchsticks fell down. So this is the metal scale conducts the heat. This is because of the metal scale conducts the heat. Is it clear? So this is about heat normally flows from hot objects to cold objects. Hot objects to cold objects. While it is hot, the molecules of those hot objects are vibrating very fastly, and when it cools down, slowly the vibration gets low. Since metals are good conductors of of heat, the cooking utensils are made up of metals, but their handles, what about their handles? The handles are made up of bakelite. Bakelite is a sort of insulator. While holding the utensils, it should not hurt us. No, so this handles are made up of bakelite. The next way of transfer of heat is convection. Convection is the process of heat transfer in which sections of a fluid move up and down due to change in density with temperature. Okay, heat transfer in fluid occurs almost entirely by convection, and these land breezes and sea breezes are convection current. Okay, so hot air always have less density, so hot air rises upward. Hot air rises upward, and the cold air catches the place of the hot air. Do you understood? That is called convection. Convection is the rotation of the hot air and the cold air. Okay, children. So during the daytime, the land is more hotter than the sea. So the air from the land reaches the sea, and the air from the sea reaches the land. That's why we feel chill when we are in coastal areas. Okay, at the same time, at the night time, the cold air from the land reaches the sea, and the hot air from the at the same time, the hot air from the sea reaches the land region. So in the coastal areas, especially during the summer days, we feel very sultry during the night time because of this convectional currents. Okay, children. And finally, radiation. Radiation is the process in which the transfer of heat through a vacuum occurs by radiation. A black surface is a good absorber of radiation. A shining or white surface is a poor absorber. Good absorbers are poor reflectors, and vice versa. So radiation is the one. See, you can do this experiment. Place two identical cans, one with the shining surface and another with the black surface. Make small hole and insert the thermometers. Keep them in the sun for an hour. you can notice that the temperature of the black one rises up. This is due to that radiation process. Okay, the heat radiates. The heat radiates in this process. Is it clear, children?
A hot object loses heat to the surroundings by radiation, convection, and conduction. Similarly, a cold object gains heat from the surroundings by the same three modes. To keep a hot body hot, we need to reduce the loss of heat. And to keep a cold body cold, we need to reduce the gain of heat due to these three modes. How does a thermos flask work? A vacuum flask or thermos is an insulating storage vessel that greatly lengthens the time over which its contents remain hotter or cooler than the surroundings of the flask. Instead of containing any kind of heating or cooling element so as to keep hot things hot and cold things cold, a thermos is designed in such a way that it minimizes transfer of heat by not allowing heat to escape or enter easily. Heat can be transferred through the air. To keep heat from escaping, you need insulation. The best insulator possible is a vacuum where there is no air. A thermos consists of two flasks. Here the two flasks are indicated with the colors red and gray. They are placed one within the other and are joined at the neck using a stopper made of an insulating material. The gap between the two flasks is evacuated of air during its construction, and this creates a near vacuum which significantly reduces heat transfer by conduction or convection. The outer casing of a thermos flask is made up of plastic or metal. Plastic, being a poor conductor of heat, acts as an insulator, preventing the heat loss through conduction. Inside the plastic case is another double-walled container, which is made of glass or stainless steel. Both of the walls of this container are silvered. The narrow region between the inner and the outer walls is evacuated of air and is sealed together to create vacuum. This prevents heat loss through convection since there are no air particles to carry out the transfer of heat. The silvered and shiny surfaces of the walls also further prevents heat loss through radiation. These features in the thermos prevent heat transfer by either conduction, convection, or radiation. The vacuum prevents conduction and convection of air. This is because both conduction and convection need molecules of a medium for the transfer of heat. The tight stopper prevents air from entering or leaving the flask, so this too prevents convection. When radiation tries to leave the hot liquid, the silvered surfaces reflect the heat back, thus reducing radiation. Hence, with very little heat escaping, a hot drink stored in a thermos will stay steaming hot for several hours. It is also the same for cold drinks. Heat is unable to easily penetrate into the flask from the outside environment. The sealed stopper prevents conduction as it stops heat from getting in the flask. The vacuum stops conduction, and the metal lining between the outer case and the inner chamber prevents heat radiation. Although some heat still escapes or gets in through the stopper, thermos flasks are still a vast improvement compared to other insulated drink containers. So these are all the features which help a thermos flask store hot and cold drinks.